Welcome to Cord Cutting today for February 3rd, 2023. This is a show where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. Now, these are my opinions. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below, and in the first pinned comment, you'll find a link to all the stories there. You can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you in the comments of what you think. Also, could you, before we jump into the news, help us grow this channel, help us support our families here? All you have to do is let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so they recommend our videos to more people, helping us grow, helping us support our families. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV, still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into this. Starting off with some deals of the day. Tons of great deals happening on the road cord cutting. I have kind of a summary post. Disney Plus is on sale. You got some great Roku TV deals. Sling TV is offering, if you've been thinking about trying them, a Fire TV stick and $10 off a month. And Paramount Plus is still free for 1 month. You have about a week left to get in on that deal. If you think about trying Paramount Plus, check out the show notes down below for the first pin story there for a code to get it free for a month. All right, let's dive into the news of the day. Starting off with the war on IPTV, illegal IPTV. So IPTV is kind of a generic term that's kind of come to describe all kinds of pirate services that offer live content. So think of like YouTube TV, Sling TV, and more. Illegal, cheaper, a little more wonky in the way they work. Well, in recent years, not that long ago, they were everywhere. You were seeing them $20 for all these channels and more. Now, increasingly, they're being shut down. There's a growing number of media companies who are joining conglomerates like Ace, which is, I think, mainly headed by Dish, and a whole bunch of other companies like Fox and more are members of it. But they're going out and they're aggressively going after these IPTV services to shut them down. And they also successfully lobbied to make it a crime to run a service like this. In the past, you'd get a civil fine and you could declare bankruptcy and stuff to get around it. Well, in 2020, the U.S. passed a law, Penal Code 593D, I believe is what it is, where it actually makes it criminal. And that's where you see things like the owners of Gears Reloaded and more facing criminal, not just civil cases here, because they changed the law to go after some of these people. You also see FBI going after iStream It All, which was a not necessarily live service, but more of a Netflix-like competitor that claimed to be free, claimed to have a loophole, but in the end ultimately faced the same fate as many pirate services out there. Even just this week, Ace went after and successfully shut down multiple sites focusing on Spanish language content. US TV Go got shut down recently. And also reportedly was because of these anti-piracy apps. US TV Go seemed like it survived forever. It was around forever. Now it's gone. Look for this to become more and more common. As cord cutting has grown, it's put a pinch on profit margins for these companies. They're not going to tolerate any illegal access to their content. They need the ability to go after it. I often get asked, how does Dish get involved with this? This isn't their content. Well, Dish often can prove that A, this content's coming from their satellite networks, and Dish does own some cable networks, and that these cable networks were on these services. So they've been very, very aggressive in trying to get them shut down. So I have to keep a very close eye on this to see how it all plays out. But clearly, piracy is a big concern for them. They're very dedicated to shutting it down however they can. So watch for that in the years to come. I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg of these pirate services getting shut down and criminal charges being brought against the people behind it. All right, next story up. Disney is fighting back against a lawsuit about artificially inflating the price of services like YouTube TV and DirecTV Stream. Now, the crux of this is the complaint by 9 people that Disney is forcing companies, if they want like the Disney Channel, they also have to carry ESPN, which is very expensive in their base package. And that's driving up the cost of these services. They're upset that if you remember for a brief time not that long ago, ESPN for like a day left YouTube TV, and then they struck a deal, came back. Well, shortly after, YouTube TV's price went up because they had to agree to a higher price for YouTube TV is carrying of ESPN. And now Disney's asking a judge to dismiss this case, arguing that bundling is not a problem, that it's honestly, it's been proven or held up a long time now that companies can say, hey, if you want this channel, you also have to carry our other channels that we sell. And that's how we get all these 100+ channels, most of them you've never heard of, because MTV2 and MTV Classic and MTV this or that and the other thing are all required if you want to have MTV. Maybe not necessarily in the main bundle, but in some type of bundle out there. So keep a close eye on this. I suspect that Disney's going to prevail in this. I'm no lawyer, just a gut reaction from looking at this and looking at previous attempts to do things like this. I think Disney's got some stuff on their side that's going to help them avoid having to go a la carte. And that's the hope that the lawsuits, that they will allow an a la carte option. You pick the channels by what you want. Let's be honest, most channels would not survive today if they weren't being supported by bundle. Even big channels like CNN reportedly would not survive if it wasn't for the fact that they were bundled together. Speaking of bundling and priority, yesterday Disney released a letter to shareholders, and in that letter they talked about a lot of different things for the future of the company, the plans for Bob Iger. A lot of this comes down is that there's an activist group of investors that are trying to push to put some of their people on the Disney board of directors. The hope that they have is that they'll get in there and they'll be able to make some changes that they think Disney needs to make. Disney obviously does not want to make these changes that they're looking at. Now Disney said things like improving the parks, better management of the content creation, and more is one of the things that they are working on under the new CEO Bob Iger, or the returning CEO Bob Iger. But also, quote, prioritizing the profitability and improving, let me back up. Prioritizing streaming profitability and improving guest experience at parks. So basically what they're saying is we want to get the parks more profitable by making guest experience better, and we want to make streaming more profitable. Now, we already covered about a few weeks ago how Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, and others are not profitable. 2024, 2025 is the target goal. It seems like Disney's hoping to drag that number forward and do it. There's a few ways Disney could do that. It's very possible that they could, of course, do another price hike, but I think they may join a growing number of services, whether that be like Discovery. He's been very public in this, cutting back on the amount of content they make, canceling shows that they don't think are big enough to justify the costs of them, and a whole lot more. Would not surprise me that Disney cuts back a little bit on the content for Hulu, Disney Plus, and more in order to lower expenses and get bigger profitability. It's always a game there, right? You want to get the right shows mixed together, but you also need to make sure you are keeping your costs low. So let's see what happens here. Also interested to see what happens in the proxy board fight. We'll see. Disney's definitely has a lot more on their mind than just keeping Disney Plus customers happy right now. All right, let's jump forward to YouTube TV. Yesterday, Google reported their earnings and did well. Of course, ad revenue wasn't quite what they wanted it to be, but they gave us some information about YouTube TV and the future of NFL Sunday Ticket. So NFL Sunday Ticket was purchased by Google's parent company, Alphabet. It's going to be available on YouTube and YouTube TV this fall. You're going to get it a la carte. You won't need a bundle to do it. You can go into YouTube if you're not a YouTube TV customer and get the service. But they did announce that YouTube TV's NFL Sunday Ticket on your smart TV, streaming player, etc., will offer split screen. No exact details on what that means. I assume that will be available on more than just NFL Sunday Ticket. But you'll be able to watch multiple games at the same time on your TV as if you have NFL Sunday Ticket. It'll be a pretty cool feature there. There are a few things that we still don't know. We don't have the pricing on this. We don't have other details. But I love the fact that YouTube is going to be adding split screen. The ability to have 2 or 3 games on at the same moment will be, I think, an excellent move by YouTube TV there. All right, let's keep moving. Apple is reporting their earnings, and they announced they have 935 million subscribers, not to Apple TV Plus, but to all their services: Apple Music, Apple TV Plus, Apple Care, let's grab this list: Apple Arcade, Apple News, Apple Fitness, and a whole lot more. Apple has so many. People are buying fewer devices. Let's just be honest. The need to run out and buy a new phone every year is just not there. So instead, Apple's moving more and more to subscription-based profit margins. And to do that, they need you to subscribe to services. So they're rolling out more. And that's why Apple's put a lot of focus into Apple TV, for example. Striking that deal with the Hallmark channel to bring Hallmark content. Striking deals with Major League Baseball and Major League Soccer. A new subscription service just launched this week. Gives you access to every single Major League Soccer game all season long. So look for this to become more and more common. The fact is that your phone, for most people, does everything they want it to do. The improvements are great. If you're a hardcore fan, great. But honestly, people are holding on to their phones longer because they work just fine. They do the phone calls, they check the weather, they let you surf social media and more. So Apple's now looking for subscriptions to kind of make up that gap. It'll be interesting to see how much they put into Apple TV to try to grow that, Apple TV Plus to be exact, and try to grow it. All right, last story of the day. T-Mobile is #1 in customer care amongst wireless companies, according to J.D. Power. So if you've been looking for a new phone company or home internet, according to this report, let me throw that off my lap real quick. T-Mobile is the most popular service out there, and it's for customer care. And I want to know, do you agree? Do you think T-Mobile has excellent customer care? It's always kind of one of those things. Your service always sucks. Everybody else seems to be better. It's the grass is always greener on the other side. And if you're happy, you're probably not interacting with T-Mobile customer care. If you're unhappy, you are. So leave me a comment. Let me know. Do you agree with that? Do you think T-Mobile's customer care is better? I'd love to hear from you. All right, so that's it. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. I'll be back on Monday, back down in my old space in here. And I'm very excited to break down all the news. Go over to cordcuttersnews.com. Do me a big favor. Check it out. We're posting way more stories than I talk about here. I'd love to have your support. I'd love you to, if you have any tips, tricks, news, go over there, hit the contact us, send us a suggestion. Many of these stories come from readers like you giving us tips. So until next time, take care, be safe. We'll be back again on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.